Here's a place that they've done their plowing, disking, and not so much harrowing yet. But anyway, on the other side of this what should I call it, pig corral, you can see that there they did the same, but I control it. I had them do it on a contour, and which again will take some explaining, but I think I can control it to the extent that with their natural tendency and my guidance, we can actually build up terraces. You'll see this from up above. Here come their babies. Happy reunion. They're only about maybe 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks old. The bigger ones. They're the bigger ones. Here come more. Mama's here. They suspect that they're going to get some corn, and they're right, they will. So I've walked into the it's Shirley's Keller, I call it down here, and this is the breakfast table or the meal table. I better feed them before they eat me. So I'll pause here. Hey, cut that out. Down here I won't film in too much detail. Not that much has changed. What's changed is the left-hand side, which I've made pig-friendly. My grandfather intended this barn originally for pigs, but it did not work out for him. I think the concrete slab was too cold, the ceiling was too high. In any case, I don't know, it didn't work out. Now this side over here, I call it Shirley's Keller. Shirley's my German friend. And I haven't worked here much. Where I work, I make things neat and clean as I can, but I haven't worked there much. But it hasn't really changed that much. All right, I'm going in a kind of a different order. That is, I've come to call this building the curator's hostel, because I believe, well, I know I can make it into a livable, very livable space, but it would be a good place for a curator of this village, this museum, to live. And I call it a hostel because he or she could also entertain guests. I think I won't go inside right now, but I could. On different occasions, I've been very worried about it collapsing because of the foundation. Now that wind that we had recently took a piece of steel off the roof, but I can fix it. And as bad as that looks, it's in control now. All right, now that water wheel, when the Hong Kongers were here, the three of them, one of the things they did was they completed putting those coffee containers on that wheel, and we actually even had it turning. We could very easily do that now because at the time there was very little water. But there's water enough. But the thing is, I want to bring it toward us a little bit and reorient it. I mean, we changed so much. And this area right in there, it will be a garden. The two boys started that for me, and the pigs are going to help to finish it. You might have heard that rooster crow. I now have a rooster. Now this is the beast, the big incinerator. Used a lot. Now everything looks so muddy because of the pigs. I don't mind that. As a matter of fact, I want it because I can seed this now, and I can seed it into whatever I want to. This area here, perhaps I can walk out here and show you. You might think, well, it looks as bad or worse than it did last year, but the thing is, I took everything down, I reoriented everything, I made the huts 5 inches wider, and it was a lot of work and it doesn't show. What you're looking at right there in the middle is an incinerator for burning entire pallets, whole pallets, a stack of them. That, as I've said before, is to be the laundry. This over here is to be a bathhouse. The space between that incinerator and a faux cut out there will be for stretching and drying laundry. That pallet wall will be, I think I'll make it twice as high, and I can make a solar water heater on it. Where I'm standing is going to be basically the way to go toward this, to bring pallets, to slide them down a slide into that furnace. I will build stairs where this water's running, stairs down on either side, but I'll leave the water running through there. Let me turn a little bit here. All right, on the right that could be a dwelling. On the left, I'm going to make a water-powered little kind of grist mill to turn various machinery. And forget it, pigs. I already fed you. And there's the incinerator. And all of this stuff is lined up. That's the hammer hut, I call it. I haven't done anything on it. It wouldn't take long to restore it. Here come all the piglets. I mean, at least there's action shots here with all these piglets. They're learning to go with their mamas. And there's where I store my glass and screens and stuff. These are pallets to be burned. And now I can burn entire pallets without having to take them apart. Oh, don't come up here. You'll be sorry, pig. It's slippery. You ever hear the expression, a pig on ice? Oh, a pig on that plastic would be like that. This is a water supply that will turn that water wheel with the blue buckets on it. And I've got it shut off right here to go by. But I can run it right through, all the way to the barn, to the Shirley's Keller if I want to. But I would turn it before that probably to go down. That pig should not. It's strong enough to hold it, but its foot might go through in places. All right, this has got more action than I suspected it was going to. All right, that's what the fun is. What a learning experience it is for me to have these pigs and piglets. But they're the neighbors. We'll see what he wants to do with them. That scared quite a few people this summer. These little ones, they really can't quite eat whole ear corn kernels yet. Well, they try. Who knows how much they get. This is a new experience for me. That's Plow, the black one, and this one is Harrow. Oh no, that one's Disc, and this one's Harrow. A little hard to tell these two apart. Plow, Disc, and Harrow. These are the neighbor's pigs. I'll probably keep some though. And here is where they, oh, here's the rest of them. They have a heat lamp. They like it, but they don't seem to need it now. They shiver though. So, when the weather's a little colder, I put it on. That's where I was, and here you can see once again how the material is waiting for a gate, and there another gate. Though some of them will be double. There's another gate. There's another gate, more or less symmetrical. And over each one of the gateways, I'll build something like that, for reasons that I'll have to explain later. The wind damage blew that part of the corral fence down last March or so, and it took me a long time, and then my son finally had to help me to get it back up, figure out where the pieces went. And it isn't quite back up, all of it, but so be it. I think last year I did not go inside Thomas Hawking Hall because, well, I might have. I don't think so. It still is very. It's going to seem very disorderly and messy, but a big difference now. I mean, here in the middle, this is where I work on faux cuts, build pieces, because a lot of the pieces are over 10 or 12 foot long. And that's that bunker cover that I can get for free, but I have to you know, cut the edges straight and stuff. There's the water wheel that I had down there by the gate. All of this looks so tumbled and messed up and hopeless. It's not. And a big difference now is that the goats won't be in here anymore. I miss them. I might bring them in here sometimes just for fun. But since my son began to build fencing, they can have their own domain. They always wanted to be with me. There's the plumbers and the electrician shop. There's the stairs to go up. There's that enormous reed organ I've shown before. This is a woodworker's shop. This is the stairs to go up or come down to that balcony. The balcony goes across there. Those bandsaw blades are waiting to be wind powered. This is the sharpener's shop. That's the wood turner's shop and lathe. There's the lathe, and there's the Shakespearean theater really is what it is. You can see stuff's knocked around a lot because goats have been climbing on this for a year. But it doesn't actually take that long to fix that. So I've been brave enough to bring you in and show you this. It'll clean up faster than you might be able to imagine. All right, now we're going to head, I guess, over that way. I said earlier that you'd see this pig something from above, and so here it is. It was when the Hong Kongers were here that we built that, and it was I'll call them weeds, waist high in there, and I've gradually let the pigs go in there. You can see that I used the hay, what do you call it? Well, it'd be manure, the bedding that was spent, that was used up. I reinforced the lower breast of those ditches, and at the moment there's a lot of water laying in there, so that kind of shows. I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to make it strong enough to actually hold the pigs. Oh, there's a couple of little pigs. And included this. Now, there is one of the huts that I have to reset. It's in the right place, but have to make it 5 inches longer. The pallets that are tumbled are kind of waiting for that. There's a pig went into that barn. I wish they wouldn't, because that one still isn't all that stable. This is another one of those pens. That is going to be a mill, and a water-powered mill. There's the hub for it, and the water right at the bottom of that telephone pole, that power pole, electrical. That water is coming from what I call the Grand Canal, as a kind of a joke. The Hong Kongers helped me to restore that. The water comes from Oppenheimer Run, and I can run a lot of water through there, and it basically has never failed. All right. Oh, I don't know. There's so much to do, and yet there's so much fun to be had, and it will definitely look different next year. Bye for now. There are going to be about 15 of those built over the gateways, and the gates that clearly are not hung, and those probably aren't even the gates that are going to be there. Right there is going to be the latrine, three stall latrine. It's missing the roof and the material for that's right over that. I decided to move it from someplace else. These still do not have living roofs. Over there I dismantled a fence, a couple of fences, before I had put the living roof on. Now that wind damage that I talked about, it also tipped, but didn't tip over, my base for a very large windmill right there, and some machinery that I'm building and putting together most of it was too heavy to be damaged by the wind, but part of it was damaged and knocked over, which I haven't gotten to yet. The tractor is sitting where there will be a faux cut to cover the tractor. I think a lot of this stuff you've seen last year. This is the summer kitchen. That hornet's nest up there, I found out unpleasantly that it was there when I had a hammer. I was standing up there and I had a hammer. I was pounding on on the rafter, and they told me that they were there in an unpleasant way. But we'll go through there.